What's good YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Last in Conditioning. If you want self-improvement, here are some tips who are going to actually help you achieve this. A lot of self-improvement tips are overall very vague, at least if you ask me. Some of this self-improvement will say, you should read books. Okay, let's make it a bit more actionable. You need to find out what you like in terms of books and then read the books that actually make sense to you. Not just like reading books for the sake of reading books, but if there's a particular subject that you really like, you need to find information and books about that and then read those particular books. Not just read books for the sake of it. Don't read self-help books. Just if you want to learn to play the piano and you want some theory behind it, go find books about how to play the piano and how you become good at it. That is true self-improvement. The next thing is you need to create a sleeping schedule, and this has to be pretty fixed. Just because it's the weekend, that doesn't mean you should sleep in or go to bed later. You need to go to bed and wake up pretty much around the same hour every single day. This creates a good sleeping pattern for you. So if you have to be at work or school at, let's say, 8 o'clock, and it takes you an hour to get there, and you have certain things you need to get ready in the morning, then you need to get up at potentially 6 o'clock or later. If you actually pack your stuff the day before, make sure everything is ready so you can just roll out of bed and then get out the door. But you need to have a fixed schedule. Make it a certain time every single day. Punch in the clock. One tip that's often gets spotted is that you need to clean up your diet. So how do you do this? What I would recommend is you find one or two things at first and see, could I replace this with something else that would benefit me in terms of my goals? Or could I actually take these things out completely without negatively have some sort of impact on my well-being? If you can do that, then you just do that and then keep repeating that pattern until you have cleaned out your diet completely. If you have a lot of different things that you're doing on a daily basis and you want to clean that out, a very actionable course is to do that. Take one step at a time. Take one food item. See what you can exchange. If you're drinking a lot of soda and you're drinking with sugar, an actionable course could be go with sugar-free at first, or maybe even change it completely to something else. Just make sure you take one thing at a time and then you'll get there. One thing a lot of the self-improvement gurus talks about is that you need to have a journal where you write down certain things. If you ask me, you don't need that unless it's a tool that you use that helps you stay consistent. If you can be consistent without it, then ditch the journal. Then it's just a complete waste of time. You do not need to use a journal, but if it's a tool that helps you stay consistent, by all means use it, because then it's extremely valuable to you. Another thing that has been extremely popular has been cold plunging. You don't need to do cold plunges. That's nowhere near part of like actually becoming better as a person. You can do it if you like the challenge in terms of like staying in something cold for a prolonged period of time. Just be careful that you don't do it for too long at a time and actually get hypothermia, which can have severe adverse health risk. So you don't need to do it just because it's some of the self-improvers talk about it like, oh, it's so difficult, so hard, you need to do it. You don't. If you're doing something in terms to get better, it has to one way or the other make sense and give value to you as a person. So sit down and think to yourself, what would it change for me to do cold plunges? Would it affect me in any positive way?